A beautiful, educated young woman's life was tragically cut short when the man she went on a date with had sinister plans. This is the story of Sade Robinson. Welcome to my channel, everyone. Courtney Elise here, aka CourtCrimesTv. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and comment. Also, hit that notification bell. That way you'll know every time I upload. Let's get into the video. Sade Carlina Robinson was born May 10, 2004 to Carlos Robinson and Sheena Scarborough in Mississippi. At the age of 2, she moved to Milwaukee, but spent time in Florida with her father. Growing up, she was a curious kid and always wanted to explore. She enjoyed Girl Scouts, soccer, dancing, rapping, and performing. She always envisioned herself being great. In middle school, she was a part of the Junior Reserves Officer Training Corps. Her mother said she once had dreams of joining the U.S. Air Force. She would attend Riverside High School, where she excelled academically and socially. Her education was important to her. She wasn't like her peers, where grades came last. She wanted better for herself. She was a high achiever. So much so that she actually graduated a semester early in December of 2021. After graduating high school, Sade got right to it and enrolled in Milwaukee Area Technical College to pursue a degree in criminal justice. While there, she considered continuing her studies at Concordia University in Mequon. In her off time, she worked at Pizza Shuttle so she could support herself and go on solo trips to Jamaica, Atlanta, and New York. In early 2024, she would meet a 33-year-old man by the name of Maxwell Anderson. How the two met is unclear. It's alleged that they, 1, met at a bar where he worked, and 2, on a dating app. Maxwell was a 33-year-old man living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was a bartender at several nightclubs, but his most recent bartending job was at Victor's nightclub. From what I've read online is that people who knew him, who grew up around him, they described him as rough and had a very short temper. He was with the Navy from April 2011 to January of 2012. His reason for not continuing his journey in the Navy is unclear. He's had a few run-ins with the law as well. In 2014, he had a misdemeanor disorderly conduct conviction in Waukesha County following an incident with a family member. In 2015, he had a misdemeanor domestic violence case in Door County. Yeah, this man is crazy. On April 1st of 2024, an employee from her apartment building said that Sade was excited about a date later on that day. At 4:15 p.m., Sade sends Maxwell a text asking where are they meeting and also tells him the time she's available. They plan to meet at Twisted Fisherman, a place Maxwell picked because he was quote-unquote feeling seafood, and he also needed to pick up his W-2 because that was a former place of employment. At 5:20 p.m., Maxwell arrives and tells one of the staff members he's there for a date. Shortly after, Sade arrives. Once Sade arrives, the two eat and have drinks at the bar. At 6:30 p.m., the two leave the restaurant in Sade's car, might I add, and go to Duke's on Water.
The haunting photos show an excited Sade Robinson arriving at the Twisted Fisherman in the Menominee Valley April 1st, meeting Maxwell Anderson for a first date. The pair are seen sitting at the bar eating and later leaving together. It's the last image of her alive.
While there, Sade would send a Snapchat to a friend, and at 9:06 p.m. the two would leave and go to Maxwell's house. The next day, on April 2nd, at around 7:32 a.m., the Milwaukee Fire Department responds to a call about a car on fire. It was a 2020 Honda Civic they soon found out belonged to Sade. The clothes she was last seen wearing were in the trunk, along with the remnants of her iPhone. Not knowing that Sade's car was found burning, her friends and place of employment were blowing up her phone. Her manager at Pizza Shuttle said he knew something was wrong because it wasn't like her to not show up. Honestly, from what I've read about Sade is that she was a very professional and driven young woman. I didn't even know her, and to me, her just not informing someone of her whereabouts, her not answering any phones, seems uncharacteristic of her. After not hearing from her and not showing up for work, her friends reported her missing. That same day, a severed leg was found at Warnemount Park. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It appeared to be sawn off at the hip.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to give a brief update regarding the severed leg that was found and some of the human remains that have been found throughout Milwaukee County. As you know, on April the 2nd at approximately 5:29 p.m., Milwaukee County 911 dispatch received a call from Cudahy Police Department regarding a severed leg at woman.She Park. It was near the golf course and the pumping house. And so the leg was amputated from the around the hip down. And as a result, the leg appeared to be that of an African-American female.
During this time, Sade's family and friends are searching all over Milwaukee for her. Search parties have formed, news channels, everything has started in search for Sade.
Sick son of a is gonna pay. This is justice for Sade. Who the would do something like this to my beautiful baby? She hurt nobody.
Now for what's tipping the scales of justice. The family and the friends of beautiful Sade Robinson are reeling as more of her remains have been recovered in connection to her murder.
She was bright, always, making feel people welcomed. She looked out for my baby. The least I could do was look out for her mama's baby.
We need to do whatever we can to bring her home. Until we find out what we need to find out, we just come out and you just keep pushing forward. And we let the experts come and decide, determine what they know. And we're just the eyes and the ears on the ground.
During this search, an examination determined that the leg belonged to a black woman approximately 5 feet tall. DNA testing confirmed it unfortunately belonged to Sade Robinson. Within that week, more body parts were discovered. The police came to a conclusion that Maxwell Anderson was their #1 suspect. A witness said that they saw a white male exit the vehicle and toss a lighter into a car and walk away. They said he was wearing a gray hoodie and a tan backpack, the same attire he was wearing in the surveillance footage while on the bus that same day. Mind you, they have footage of him on the bus because he drove Sade's car to the park that day. When they left Dukes on Water, they left in Sade's car.
Here's the new video. Prosecutors say that's Sade Robinson's car. The home security video shows the car heading south down the alley that leads away from Maxwell Anderson's garage. The video is timestamped at 12:47 a.m. in the early morning hours of April 2nd, roughly 3 hours after Anderson and Robinson arrived at his home. In the video, the car turns west. From there, investigators say Anderson went to woman.She Park and locations in Milwaukee to dispose of her body parts, according to cell phone data and more surveillance video.
They didn't leave in Maxwell's car, so somehow, after setting Sade's car on fire, he had to get back home, and that way home was on the transit, which they caught him in broad daylight. On April 4th, police pull over Maxwell and arrest him, blocks from his home. After arresting Maxwell, they got a search warrant for his home. While in the house, officers found blood in one of the bedrooms and on the walls leading to the basement. They also found several gas containers as well. I should also add that after the Wisconsin State Crime Lab tested the blood, it came back that the blood didn't even belong to Sade. So who did it belong to?
Monday afternoon, the criminal complaint, which details prosecutors' probable cause to charge Anderson, now has new evidence. Court documents show when investigators first went to Anderson's house, they found blood on the bedding in one of the bedrooms and on the walls leading towards the basement.
It just indicates that the preliminary DNA analysis supports the conclusion that there is no support for inclusion of Robinson's DNA in the blood or swabs that have been tested.
Meaning the blood found, which has now gone through preliminary testing, is not Sade's. But it's not clear whose blood it is.
Now that Maxwell is the #1 suspect in the disappearance of Sade Robinson, women from his past and also friends from his past came out to speak about Maxwell's weird energy. They said that they would go out on dates with Maxwell and that when they would get back to his house, he would always try to lure them into their basement, saying that the basement was cool down there. And they said they declined because he and the basement just weirded them out. Former friends of Maxwell said that he was referring to his basement as a sex dungeon. Just thought I'd add that in there. Maxwell is being held on a $5 million bond. In my opinion, if you're being suspected of someone's disappearance, their body parts are being found all throughout Milwaukee and their car has been found on fire, you don't deserve a bond. Mind you, Maxwell comes from a very very affluent family. The charges I've discussed before, he's always gotten a slap on the wrist because of his family. He does not deserve a bond whatsoever, but I digress. Maxwell is being charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson of property other than a building.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Robinson family, friends, and the Milwaukee community who have embraced this family. We are sorry for your loss. It's such a tragic incident. Our investigators have worked around the clock on this investigation. As a result of their diligence and with the help of our criminal justice partners, the District Attorney's Office issued charges today against Maxwell Stephen Anderson for first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson of property other than building. He remains in custody.
Maxwell's father released a statement through the law firm representing his son, saying, "On behalf of myself and my family, I would like to express our deepest sympathy and heartfelt condolences to the family and loved ones of Sade Robinson. We are shocked and devastated by her senseless death. To Sade's mother and father, words cannot express our sorrow for the incomprehensible pain and grief you are going through. We join the entire community in celebrating Sade's life." On May 10th of 2024, the day she would have turned 20 years old, she was eulogized at a public memorial at the Baird Center. The room was filled with her favorite color, pink. The guests all wore pink attire. Sheena, Sade's mother, talked about the last time she saw her daughter. It was Easter Sunday, the day before Sade was reported missing. She said Sade was a beautiful soul. She was an amazing girl. I couldn't have asked for a better daughter. There were things my daughter did that many adults weren't even able to accomplish in their lifetime. They are also forming a non-profit on behalf of Sheena Scarborough titled Sade's Voice Foundation, which will aim to support families of missing Black and brown women and raise awareness about their stories. The most recent news about this case is Sade's mother pleading with Maxwell's parents about getting him to tell where the rest of her remains are, but he is being a complete by keeping quiet. Sade's story is so sad because she was a young lady who was driven. She wanted to be the best she could be in life. She didn't let outside things distract her from her goals. She was driven to be great. She had the right frame of mind, and unfortunately, this bum of a 33-year-old man who's messing with a 19-year-old young lady ruined that for her. A shame. And you know, this isn't even Milwaukee's first time reporting on a man luring people into their home and dismembering them. You got the notorious Jeffrey Dahmer. It's very unfortunate that Sade became Maxwell's victim, but let's not skip over the fact that there could possibly be more people he's harmed because they don't know who that blood belongs to that they found in Maxwell's basement. I thank God he is locked up. I pray for Sade's family. I can't even imagine what her parents, what her friends, her loved ones are going through, especially after they're still continuing to find body parts that match Sade's description. Please take the time out and pray for Sheena Scarborough and Carlos Robinson and Sade's family in general. Sade, may you rest in peace.